Welcome back to Through Inquisitive Kids. Today we're learning about the addition of rational numbers. Our learning goals for today is to understand the meaning of addition of rational numbers and the addition rules, so we can use the rules to accurately add rational numbers, and to explore, understand, and master the law of addition of rational numbers. The animal kingdom is hosting the Olympic Games. An ant is the torchbearer. From the origin, he runs in a positive direction for 1 unit on the number line. He runs 1 unit towards the negative direction. Where is ant after his run? What equation matches this? So what the problem is saying is that ant is at the origin, here at the 0, and he's running in the positive direction for 1 unit. So he ends up here. And then he's running back 1 unit. So where does he end up after his run? At 0. So here's the equation that matches that. Calculate 8 plus negative 8 and negative 3 and 5 tenths plus 3 and 5 tenths. So here we have the first equation, and we can represent it on the number line. So here it says we've added 8, so now we're at 8, and then we've gone back and we're at 0. So those two basically cancel out. And here we've gone to the negative side first, and then we've gone back the same amount, so we're back at 0. Think about it. Observing the characteristics and sums of each addend in the formulas above, what do you notice? Well, first, notice that the addends, they're all the same numbers, but that they're negative and positive, and they're different in that way. So here we have positive 1 and we have negative 1. We have positive 8 and negative 8. So we can find that imitating the previous examples, explain the sums of the formulas below. Here we have this problem. We're going to add 2, and then we have to minus 5, which means we're at negative 3. And here we have added 8, and then we've gone back negative 6, so we're at 2. Here we have negative 8 plus positive 5. So first we have this red arrow that goes in the negatives into negative 8. And then we're adding positive 5, so we're at 3. So here we have both of these are positive, so we have 5 and then 8. Here we have both negatives, so we're basically minusing 5 if you add these together, because they're both going in the negative direction. So it's a negative 5. Can you explain the addition of rational numbers in other ways? Use your method to explain the sums of the 5 calculations in the last slide. Put them in the comments. Here we have a game. There's a circle that has positive 1 in it. It means add 1. And if you have this sign, it means negative 1. And note that positive 1 plus negative 1 is equal to 0. Using the rules of the game, try to represent these 5 problems below. Here we have 2 plus negative 5. And how do we show this? So first, we would have 2 positive 1s and 5 negative 1s. So this represents this equation. Now, these 2 and these 2 cancel out. So now we have 3 negative 1s. So the answer will be negative 3. Here we have positive 8 plus negative 6. So we have 6 here that cancel out with 6 from the positive 8. So now we have 2 left over, so that's the answer for this one. And here we have negative 8 plus positive 5. So here the positive 5 positive ones cancel out with the 5 negative ones. So we end up with negative 3. And here we have all positives, so nothing will cancel out. So we can just add them into 8. Here we have negative 1s, and 2 plus 3 is 5, but it's negative, so it's negative 5. Here we have to calculate negative 4 plus negative 8 and negative 5 plus 13 and 0 plus negative 7 and negative 4 and 7/10 plus 4 and 7/10. These two numbers have the same symbol, so we're going to add their absolute value, which is 12, and then we're going to make it negative. And here, these two are different symbols. We're going to see their absolute values, and 13 has a bigger absolute value, so we're going to use 13's sign, which is positive, and then we're going to minus 5 from 13, which we will get 8. And then here we have 0 plus negative 7. Anything plus 0 is always itself, so the answer will be negative 7. And here we have negative 4.7 plus 4.7. And we also learned that if the numbers are each other's additive inverse, then it's going to be 0. Here we have all the rules we have learned in this slides. If the two numbers have the same symbols, then you add up the absolute values, and then you take that symbol they had and then put it on it. And if the numbers have different signs, take the symbol of the addend with the larger absolute value and subtract the absolute values. And if it has different signs but it's reverse numbers, then the sum will be 0. And if we add any number to 0, then it is still the number.